Lura magħna biex inkomplu bl-aħħar parti ta' NTM u kif drajtu l-aħħar parti ta' NTM tkun biex anke inwasslu messaġġi differenti u nagħtu pjattaforma għal diversi għaddiet li għandna f'pajjiżna u issa jmiss li nagħtu pjattaforma lil-għaqda bl-isem ta' Step Up for Parkinson's illi kif imur isimha taħdem tagħmel il-ġid ma' persuni li sfortunatament għandhom din il-kondizzjoni. Qiegħed waħdi Roberta ħallitni mingħajr ma qalt li ċaw, Roberta tkun magħna għada u jiena nkompli l-aħħar parti tal-programm waħdi wara l-programm nibatela messaġġ u nsaqsija fejn marret lanqas biss rajta. Ser nagħmel din il-parti tal-programm bl-Ingliż għaliex il-mistiedna li għandi miegħi jikellmuna bl-Ingliż. Thank you for joining us, Natalie and Rachelle.
Yes.
Step Up for Parkinson's. Thank you very much for coming here. You found this together, right?
Yes. Yes.
How long?
She's the brain. She's the brain.
In 2016, I went back to studying and I wanted to help people with movement therapy. And I wasn't really sure which direction I wanted to go. And then at the time, one of the teachers at the university, she sent me a video about what they do with people with Parkinson's in the United States. And as our aunt, her partner had Parkinson. And when he passed away, she walked a pilgrimage from Amsterdam to Rome and wrote a book about it. It kind of felt like, oh, maybe this is really what I should be doing. And then since then, we just went, yeah.
Yes.
So we wanted to become a voluntary organization. Everything had to be for free. And my sister, she just did, at the time, her master's in entrepreneurship. So she helped with the proposal and the financial, and like that's totally not my thing.
How does it feel now, a few years on, since 2016, to see it all working out and
Well,
God knows how many people you've helped from just an idea that you've come up with?
We were peaking before COVID, and obviously we had to go through the whole COVID period of like a year and a half now without any classes, without any direct contact. So it's been a bit of a strange period, like for many. Thank God we just started again with the class last week for the first time in a year and a half. So right now it feels really great, but we have to get back into the level that we were, because we were helping 200 people every week. And right now it's like it diminished very much because people have declined as well.
And passed away.
Yes.
And how has COVID affected people with Parkinson?
Well, not good.
Quite
Because we mentioned how it affected kids in terms of the school, how it affected the elderly and families, but these are vulnerable people as well.
Of course. Well, the
Isolation,
thing, isolation, being isolated is not good for anyone. But with Parkinson's, it's very, very important that you keep moving. Like any kind of sports, moving, being active is very important. So, for example, if we don't go to the gym and we don't move, it has an effect on us. And if we isolate, but if someone with Parkinson's doesn't move or isn't in a social environment or a community, they can decline faster.
The impact it has on the mental state as well, you know, the drive.
Exactly, so it makes everything, the problem gets
Yes,
and the classes that we do, the methodology is proven to work if you go at least 10 weeks, 2 times a week.
Yeah.
So when that stops, the quality of life, because it was improving quality of life for many, but then that declines as well. So now a year and a half, people are alone at home, cut off from the social part, not a part of like community anymore, not moving anymore. So it went very fast. And then the fear of COVID on top of it, because people were very, very afraid, obviously, like every...
Exactly.
Yes.
And does it, the time that they're away from doing the movement that they should be doing, do you then have to start from scratch again?
Well, yes. So when we started the first class on Thursday, I spoke with the teachers, because we have a really great team of wonderful ladies that are working with us. And we discussed to start with music that they would know, movements that they would have done, because we have to start from the beginning.
Yes.
As an organization, we start from the beginning again. We start all over again, and with the people. So it's a second chapter.
But on the bright side, you're back. We're seeing a video of what you do, the movements. Was this the class back this week?
That was last week, Thursday.
A lot of happy faces then. How did it feel to be back. Not for you, I'm sure it's a relief, but for them, how did they react to it?
Yes, they loved it, and they also said how much they missed it and how important it was to
It was
be
quite
moving.
emotional
Yeah,
as well,
it was,
huh?
yeah.
Yes, there was quite a bit of emotion going on.
Yes, a lot of emotion. Like it was, I was very nervous, and also in the meantime, I had a son. So our son was born 6 months ago now. So a lot of things happened, and so obviously my husband came with our son at the end of the class. So it was even more emotional for them.
Which was perfect, though.
Yeah, which was perfect. Because with the organization, it's an organization, but we're much more than that. It's like a real family, you know. We keep contact with each other. If there's a birthday, we celebrate it. We have Christmas dinners. We were working on a theater performance. We've been on TV. Like we've done. It's so much more than. And in my research that I did at the time, the biggest aspect that came out that improved their quality of life was the sociability. Actually being together and feeling that you belong, and that is
and connecting with people who go through the same
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was the biggest problem with COVID. The connection was broken for many, not just in the Parkinson's community,
for
but
everyone,
everywhere.
you know.
Yeah, but the vulnerable people, I guess, feel this more.
But in general, we all need to be connected, you know, and not just through our phones.
That's right. Running an organization is not easy, especially an organization which you said 200 people a week you'll be seeing, so it's not easy. So you're trying to get help from the public to help you continue.
Yes.
So explain a bit what it is and how the public can help.
So basically, we're an organization. We don't charge any members. There's no member fee. Anyone can come, and you also come as a person with Parkinson's with your husband, your wife, or your formal carer. And this is the reason why this is because I believe that if you are already ill, then and you already have, you know, you have a financial burden on top of this, then I think healthcare should be for free. And if something is proven to help, then it should be for free. Also, if you start charging people, it becomes a business model, and this is not a business. They are not products, you know. These are people that need to be helped. So we never charged, and we always managed to get funding. We applied for funding. We gave presentations to the Malta Social Impact Awards, the Malta Community Chest Fund Foundation. And just before COVID, we were actually talking with the Ministry for Health. But of course, COVID started. So we've struggled to stay alive, but we managed. And now we have a new campaign, and it's called Sponsor a Participant. So people can sponsor one participant for 35 euros a month, which gives them the opportunity to come twice weekly to our classes. And this money will help the organization to be able to pay the teachers, the cleaning fees, etc., administration, and also the running of the organization, because it doesn't just happen. And then like this, we can start maybe talking again with the ministry and see how the country is also developing, because we also understand that Parkinson's is a problem, but maybe it's not the biggest problem that the country has at the time.
How big of a problem do you think it is? Because you're more in contact with people with Parkinson's, and you probably know more than the government.
Well, the last research showed that there's like 1,400 people registered with Parkinson's, but there are many more, because many people don't register out of shame, and there are many more young people as well with Parkinson's. So it's quite a problem.
Yes,
I mean, ALS, I heard, has like 300, 400 people in Malta who suffer of this disease, which is absolutely horrible. So Parkinson's is quite a little bit more at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it also is the fastest growing neurodegenerative disease in the world. It's faster growing than Alzheimer's. So it's not so much like, it's important that we now reach out to the world, not just Malta, and other organizations in the world are doing the same thing to really, know that people know that, okay, this is how you can improve your quality of life. Your life doesn't stop when you have Parkinson's, but these are certain things that are really important to be able to cope with Parkinson's. And it doesn't just affect the person itself, it affects your family members.
Everyone.
So if someone gets Parkinson's, their husband or wife will maybe have to work less, which means there is financial burden, there's less money coming in, and that also affects the country in itself. It's like a ripple effect. Parkinson's affects the whole community.
I also think it's really good for a community, for people to know that Parkinson's is not a disease that just hits people who are elderly.
No.
It's
I was going to ask that
No.
because the perception is that
No.
it's something you
not
get
my problem, it will happen when I'm
later on.
older. This is what many people think, but we have people who are in their 40s.
Yeah.
There are people who are in their 20s, not in Malta,
27, yeah.
yes, who have Parkinson's, so it can be anyone.
Yeah.
And there's no clear reason why anyone gets Parkinson's, so you know, it could happen to anyone.
And what are the first signs of having it? Just to for whoever's watching, not to worry people.
No,
but it's good to tackle a problem before it becomes
a bigger
big
problem.
problem.
Yes.
Well, many of the symptoms are also could be anything. You know, like in the beginning, you can have like a twitching or
Tremor.
tremor.
Or you lose your sense of taste and smell. But at
But
the
that's
moment
COVID
with
as
COVID,
well, you know,
so I
yes.
don't want to.
Any of the symptoms could be anxiety,
Yeah.
could be because.
But headache, you realize when someone walks that they're a little bit off balance, so that the right side or the left side of the body is a bit different. You get a little bit of a hunchback.
All symptoms I had last month of my stress.
I think
it's tricky.
yes. I think that food constipation is also one of them. But there's so many people who suffer from this.
And would they need to get? How can they get in contact to ask
Questions.
questions?
Go to the GP. Go to a GP.
Go to a doctor, and there's also a very good organization as well in Malta, the Malta Parkinson's Disease Association. And they are always there for people with Parkinson's. They also have monthly meetings.
And
now.
then they refer them to you?
And also the head of the neurology department in Malta, they actually refer their patients to us. So there's a lot of streams and physiotherapists that everyone sends them to us. But if they just want to talk to someone and have more, they can also contact the Malta Parkinson's Disease Association. They're very good.
And I think if someone's really stressed about whether they have Parkinson's or not, it's really important to have it checked out, because the sooner you know you have it, the better your quality of life can be for a longer period. Yeah. It's not something to ignore.
And also, sorry.
Go ahead.
And also something not to be ashamed about, because there's a lot of shame around the disease. People feel they're different. Like imagine you suddenly lose your facial expressions, you have a tremor, you have a shuffle, you don't walk very well, and you have to go to a wedding or you go into a shop and people are not realizing why you are slow, for example. So you feel different. And I think if just in general in the community we have more awareness about Parkinson's disease and we can point it out and know and see it as something that is normal. Like elderly people also, the same thing, you know. We need to care more for one another and not point a finger or make someone feel uncomfortable.
But it's also, I think, people, when you get to the stage of like Parkinson's or any other disease, you get dependent on other people.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of shame and pride, and, you know, people don't want that.
No.
But, you know.
You were here a few years ago, and with you, you had someone who was going through the sessions, and they do say, he said, I remember, I think you had two people.
Yes.
They said that how much better they feel with the sessions. So we have around 2 minutes left. Explain what a session looks like, what one session looks like, what you do. We've seen a short video, but.
It's so everyone will come in and we'll all sit in a circle, and then we first have a warm up, always with breathing, to make people go back into their bodies. So it's a part of embodiment, so that they get out of the brain into their body, and then slowly she'll start
moving. It's one of the most important things in the class is the music. And so we warm up our upper body, we work on strengthening our core.
Before you can stand up even,
you know, so everything goes very slow, and every exercise is made so that even people in a wheelchair can come, or people who can't move one side of their body. So it's a lot about coordination, motoric, a lot of breathing and stretching, and also a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of laughter.
Yes,
there's
a lot of fun.
This is one of the things that really struck me in the beginning. When you walked into the room with people who have so much suffering in their life, the joy that I used to feel in that room, it was immense. Like, what am I worried about in my life? You know, when you walk into that room, it's amazing. I invite you to come. You should come.
Yes, why don't you come?
I will free up
with the whole crew.
I'll ask the crew because they can't speak to us. They're working at the moment.
I know.
They can't. So before we close, how can people find you on social media and everything? So we'll put the message across.
Yes. So people can find us on stepupforparkinsons.com. We have a website, and there you can also find all the information about how to sponsor a participant. We have a Facebook page, Step Up for Parkinson's. We also have Instagram, Step Up for Parkinson's, or they can just give us a call, and the number is 99200 822.
And then you'll get to speak to lovely Natalie.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for
Natalie
inviting us.
And Rachelle, we'll have you back, hopefully not as long as it took since we last spoke.
A bit sooner.
And hopefully when we speak next, you'll be up and running again.
Yes.
And we would have forgotten all about COVID. Thank you very much. I wish you a pleasant day.